Dr. Anja Chawla is an emotional wellness and life coach certified by the International Coaching Federation with over 20 years of experience. She is an internationally accredited emotional intelligence coach by Koila Emotions Institute, France, and a corporate trainer in the field of emotional intelligence, leadership, and corporate communication, as well as a certified assessor in EI BPA from Thomas Assessment. She is a firm believer that every single individual is bestowed with a powerful ability for emotional intelligence. In her work, Dr. Chawla aspires to introduce AI and its extraordinary benefits to all who want to change the pattern of their lives and achieve their highest goals. We welcome you, Dr. Chawla, and it's an honor to have you as a speaker today.
Thank you, Vaibhavi. Thank you, Asia. IIBP, much gratitude. And here on, in respect of time, I'll take over. All right, friends, thank you so much for trusting us with your time, because time is even more important than money. Having said that, allow me to share my screen before I go any further. And the screen has really got nothing much to talk about, but the context of today's session is what I would like to build upon. And this I can build upon only with your help. So how many of you are ready to help me out? Just give me a yes in the chat box. How many of you are ready to help me out to set the context of today's session? I see one yes, Guneet. Thank you for being that early bird, rather the first initiator. What about the others? Yes, Ajayji, always encouraging. Shreya, and here I take, all right, so I will not pronounce your name incorrectly, rather I will pronounce Muthuraman, okay, because name is very, very personal. Right. I'm putting my chat window off, and in order to take your help, I have few questions, and I'll set the context of today's session. So the questions are, how many of you are aware of the widely talked about term called emotional intelligence? Just a yes or a no. How many of you are aware about this widely talked about term emotional intelligence? A yes or a no. Let me check the chat box again. Guni says yes, very much. Oh, okay, yes, very much, right. And then Muthuraman says yes, Sadia says yes, which means my audience is very well versed with the concept of EI. And to brush it up in one line, I will say that EI is your ability to recognize your own emotion, regulate your emotions, and understand the emotions of the others, and again manage those emotions, not control them, in order to reach the goal because of which you and the other party is interacting. And I'm sure this is nothing new to any one of you. At the same time, emotional intelligence is a goal directed behavior, which means that the ability of emotional intelligence makes you behave in a manner that helps you reach your goal. Any questions till now before I proceed any further? For your help, of course, I have few more questions to ask you. Anyone, any question now can unmute, or else I proceed on a count of 10 in my heart. And I proceed. Next question. How many of you are aware of the uses of emotional intelligence? And what are the uses, if at all you are aware of the uses of emotional intelligence, the significance of emotional intelligence? What is it? Anyone who would like to unmute and speak that in 30 seconds, because time is money. Anyone? Again, counting 10 in my heart. Okay. So use of emotional intelligence is that it makes you a balanced person, that it gives you more calmness, that it allows you, it rather trains your brain, stroke rewires your brain to act in a manner which is after thinking, and not act in a manner that is before thinking. So a beautiful use of EI is it maintains your state of mind. It keeps you in a resourceful state of thinking and acting, and not acting and thinking. So response, not react. Any questions, any suggestions, anything that you have to say before I move any further? Okay. Vaibhavi and Asiya, please be careful in case someone is posting a question in the chat box and you find it important to stop me there, feel free to stop me, because the idea is only to pass on one very important message through the session, that how your emotion is an elephant, a 6-ton elephant, an animal, whereas your intellect is merely a rider, and there is always a tug of war between the elephant and the rider. And when there is no tug of war, then you are at peace. But the $1,000,000 question is, how do you bring this elephant and rider at peace? And what happens with this? Why should you invest your time in bringing your elephant, that is emotion, and the rider, that is the intellect, at in or in alignment? Why should you do that? Do you agree that change is a constant? Yes or a no in the chat box? Change is a constant. Yes or a no in the chat box, please. Okay. Ajay says no, change is not a constant. Did I get you correct, Ajay? The constant is okay.
The constant
All
is
right.
change is not a constant.
Okay, change is not a constant. The constant is change. Thank you so much, Ajay ji. I will always be thankful to you for correcting this a prototype of saying something. Thank you. So yes, moving ahead. The next question: do we all need to go through the change? Any change? Yes or a no? Do we need to? Yes, in the business world, yes, or in the physical world, yes. So yes, basically. Okay, need to, yes, yes. Okay. Next question. What if it is now a question wherein you will have to reflect. Abhi tak to it was a gray, it was a black and white area, yes or a no. But now try and reflect to the question. The question is, what if I tell you that emotions and intelligence, when they are together in alignment, then only you can make this change happen for you, or then only you can get adapted to this change. I repeat my question. What if I tell you that the only condition in which you can adapt to a change, or initiate a change, or go through the change process successfully is when your emotions and your intelligence is in alignment? What will be your thought here? Anything that you would want to offer? You can unmute yourself. A 30 seconds reply. Any reflections from the past, any thought that has just passed your mind and saying that, oh yes, when Anju said this, I am reminded of a situation. Oh, or maybe, today only this happened. Anyone, anything.
It's the alignment of the mind and the heart, Dr. Anju.
Wow. Okay.
Right. It's bringing your thought to action, and there is an alignment with that. Otherwise, what you think and what you execute and the result will all be the same. The final of the Pakistan-Australia match will say that.
All right. This humor from Raman is always expected. Thank you so much for that intelligent humor, Raman.
Thank you.
Right. Moving ahead. And as you all have rightly come to the context, and the context is, if I have to make a change possible for me, then as Raman said, thoughts and actions should be in alignment. So the agenda of today's small talk is, what is the benefit of acknowledging and accepting your emotion, that is the elephant, and how can you make it in alignment with the intellect, that is your rider, using rule Roper. I'll request all of you to please go on mute. There is some background noise from somewhere. Please go on mute. So the agenda is very clear. that is benefits of acknowledging and accepting your emotions, talking of the elephant part, and then how to bring your rider stroke intellect in alignment using the rule Roper. As I have already told you that your emotional side is an elephant and the rational side, that is your intellect, is a rider. And now if I tell you that anytime both of them are in disagreement, anytime both of them are in disagreement, it is the elephant which will win finally. I'm not saying that it will win initially, but as per Jonathan Haidt, author of the happiness hypothesis, and he being an American psychologist, he stated that, all right, you can agree to disagree with your intellect or with your elephant, but if the disagreement is for a long time and there is no synchronization or there is no wedding between the intellect and the emotions, chances are high and bright that who will win? Your elephant will win. Not only because it is 6 ton in the weight, because it is just an analogy that he gave, but because the amount of self-control we all have, is exhaustible in nature. Yes, the amount of self-control that we all have on various things, like I will not eat sugar, I will maybe exercise more, I will not scold my child, I will try to give the feedback to my organizational people in as many nice words as possible. All this is controlling yourself, and self-control is an exhaustible resource. So here I invite all of you to recall your experience of oversleeping despite that gym alarm for you rang, or maybe the yoga class for which you have already paid 5,000 for a month. It rang, you snoozed it, you snoozed it, you snoozed it, and finally the alarm also gave up on you. Or maybe when you could not present despite being prepared, it was a very important meeting, or at least so to say a meeting, but you could not present really well despite you were pretty well prepared. Are you able to relate to any of this or any other such experience wherein you were prepared to do something, logically you have told yourself, convinced yourself, but you actually could not put that into action? Anyone any thoughts on this? Anything to share here? Quick 30 seconds, please.
Anju ma'am, am I
Yeah.
audible?
Yes, you are. Please read out the chat in case you have. Okay, is that Guneet?
Yeah.
Yes, Guneet.
If I'm audible, I
Yes,
would like
you
to.
are. No, you are absolutely audible. I mistook your voice for Vaibhavi. Yes, please, Guneet.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, I would like to just say that you just mentioned that because the amount of self-control is exhaustible. So I don't know if my question is right or wrong,
No
but
problem. Don't worry. Just shoot your question.
I would like to ask you that what are the ways wherein we can find the amount of self-control? Is there any method to find out first thing, like the amount of self-control? Is there any measurement or any kind of way to find that out? Because whatever you are saying is exactly correct. We oversleep and we cannot, sometimes we really don't feel like doing something. So the emotional side is always winning. But I would also, if you can just tell us more about how can we actually measure also our self-control.
Right. Guneet, if you ask me that, is there a question, is there any, question is a numerical value that we give to any particular competence, ability, or any trait, right? If you ask me that, Anju, is there any particular psychometric with which you can tell me, okay, this is my self-control question. So I'll say that self-control is a competence in the framework of EI itself, Yes, you can very much find out your measure on the self control. And then if your further question at all, is how do I utilize that quotient of my self control, how do I make heads and tails of that self control, then you will have to enter a one-on-one coaching or a one-on-one conversation either with yourself or with a professional help to find out that what does that quotient of self control mean to you in your ecosystem, that is in your present reality with your set of resources and limitations. Does that answer your
Yes.
question for a while?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Most
That was
welcome,
really
Gunit.
helpful. Yeah,
Most
thank
welcome,
you.
Gunit. Thank you. Moving ahead. So as Gunit has agreed to it that yes, I do oversleep, and I'm sure there must be many other incidents or events that must have happened in each one of our life. So for example, the whole day not eating anything, going on a lean meal, but night when the child is getting cranky, nahi, nahi, cook me a pack of Maggie or prepare me a brownie, and then ultimately cheating on that piece of brownie, ending up killing that lean meal throughout the day. And yes, this all happens. So it is not only about lean meal, it is also about giving feedback. You promised yourself, Gunit promised herself that today when I'll talk to Anju, I will ensure that I don't start questioning her with the doubts on her. Are tumse, you must not have been able to complete it, I'm sure. Where have you reached? I'm not too sure whether you have been able to complete the task or not. So Gunit promised herself that today when she'll speak to Anju in the capacity of a manager herself, she will not use such linguistic. Yet on seeing Anju, within 2 to 3 minutes, looking at her body language, the way Anju was answering, Gunit lost it, and she again backfired, not backfired, she again used the same linguistic. You know what happened here? The elephant won. Rider was all prepared, the intellect was all prepared not to say any such thing to Anju, but finally Gunit's elephant won over. Anyone who has to say anything so far before I move ahead? Okay.
Ma'am.
Yes, Shamla.
Ma'am, this is Satnam.
Hi, Satnam.
Hi. Ma'am, the word that you used, exhaustible, is very empathetic. Thank
Oh.
you so much. Yeah, because, I never, looked at emotional intelligence from this word perspective that, it is exhaustible actually. So would you please repeat what you just said, that, looking at that person's body language, though would you please
I will.
recall that once?
I was just giving an example of Acha Satnam. First thing first, please do not misunderstand my statement. I did not say EI is exhaustible resource. I said one competence of EI, that is self-control, is an exhaustible resource. All right.
Yes, ma'am. I understood it like that only. Sure.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you.
And then second, so I was just referring, I just built up an example to explain things, that how and that in what scenarios does an elephant win. And I said, let's say Gunit in the capacity of a manager has talked with herself, has promised herself, has given herself all the intelligent reasons and rational to not talk to Anju tomorrow in the office in a derogatory manner, or in a manner wherein she is asking questions and which in a way is doubting Anju's potential. Because and why is this happening? Gunit has her own reasons. Maybe Anju hasn't performed up to the mark, maybe Anju has been giving many excuses, maybe Anju is not the right fit. So I'm leaving those reasons to shout at or question Anju at onto Gunit. But Gunit gave herself, I'm starting from the point wherein Gunit gave herself all the reasons, all the rational and the intelligent statements, that why will she not say anything, why will she not raise any doubting questions to Anju. She entered that meeting room, and for The first 2-3 minutes, she was in her control, self-control. The elephant was sitting quietly. The intellect was high. And the first question Guneet shot at Anju, looking at Anju's body language and the way Anju tackled the very first question itself, and knowing the pattern, how Anju has behaved so far, Guneet's intellect fell off and the elephant took over. And Guneet again started shouting at Anju on an assumption or in anticipation that Anju hasn't done the work that was assigned to her. This is win of an elephant and loss or the loss of intellect. Does that make it clear, Guneet? Sorry, Satnam. Does all right,
Yes,
Satnam.
ma'am.
Moving ahead.
Yes.
Moving ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
Moving ahead. So by now, I have talked about what is EI in one line because you already are aware of the basic concept. Then I moved ahead and I said, to set the context, I would like to understand from you that do you think that EI has certain uses? And I said, yes, certainly EI has a use, and the use is how do I get adapted to the change? And to get adapted to the change, it is important for me to acknowledge and accept my emotions, plus make it in harmony with the intellect. That is, my brain, tongue, and heart are in synchronization. Then only my thoughts will be matched with the right feeling to put them in the action which are deserved to bring the result that I am looking for. No lingos, no jargons. I only said my thoughts, my feelings, my actions need to be in alignment to get me the desired result. So yes, what really happened in the previous case? Why did you oversleep? Why did you snooze your alarm? Why did you eat that brownie in the night after having a lean meal throughout? Or why did you scold your subordinate despite promising yourself that I cannot afford to lose this subordinate of mine, purely because the elephant, that is the the emotional brain, or the emotional side, is a little weak. It is weak enough to be meaningfully strong. How many of you are confused with this line? That elephant, which I have been blowing the trumpet of it, it is a 6-ton animal, and if the rider tries to fight for it very long, rider will lose and elephant will win. And now I'm saying elephant is weak enough to be meaningfully strong. It is only weak enough to be meaningfully strong, and it is not weak enough to be strong. So your elephant or my elephant may not let me reach my goal if I do not recognize what is this elephant telling me. If I do not remove the haze of those feelings, or those or those meanings, the words, the visuals which are flying in my head, which I'm painting in my own world because of the emotions that I'm feeling towards the goal. So for example, this senior, let's say Guneet again, why did Guneet give up to the elephant? Though Guneet knew that my subordinate is very important for me, yet Guneet did give up. Why? Because the elephant was weak enough to be meaningfully strong. That means Guneet did not acknowledge or accept that she can get irritated, she can enter anger and a rage in no time seeing Anju. So she should have centered herself before entering this meeting room. She should have role played with herself. All right, for good time, if Anju does not behave the manner I am expecting her to behave today, or the manner I am expecting the answers from her today, still I will keep my that calm. If the elephant and the rider of Guneet, they were in so much so conversation, that is, had they traveled end of this conversation together, then probably Guneet would not have given up on Anju so easily. It is not Guneet who gave up. It was the elephant who gave up, and the rider failed rather. So thank you, Satnam. So very simple. The elephant is lazy. It skits very easily. It often looks for very quick payoff. So I scream after that lean meal. Or what about being thin? What about that extra weight? What about losing on your subordinate? Oh, that I'll see. And after shouting at Anju, Guneet felt a little guilty, not guilty exactly. She felt a little regretful. I'm not saying repent, regret, because now who will do the task which Anju was supposed to do? Because now Anju left saying that, all right, Guneet, please release me of my duties. Today on, I'm serving my notice period. So how many of you are now with me that acknowledging and accepting your emotion is very, very important, so that you know when to pause, so that you know when is the time to step back a little from your current scenario and check out what all are your options, and bring your emotion, bring your brain, tongue and heart in synchronization. Shamla, I see your hand raised. May I please hear your question?
Yeah, see, the
Mhm.
issue is that, when the actually the emotion is showing up, it's very difficult to realize it. This
Hmm.
realization that, okay, I did this, and the acceptance, that happens later. By that
True that.
time, the damage is already done.
True
So
that.
how do you bring about that during the event is the question.
All right. All right. Question is indeed very valid, but answer is not as simple as a magic wand, Shamla. And nice to see you one more time.
Yeah, nice to
Yeah.
hear you too.
Yes. So, Shamla, certainly there will be times when we will fall off, because to learn something in the truest sense, it is important to fall off, and then only learning comes. So damage has been done once, you realized it later. Now art is, are you carrying the learning of that damage, or are you carrying the same rage into the next episode? Because if you continue to carry the same rage in the next episode, you are in a victim mode, and a person who is acting in a victim mode, the elephant will always win, and it will not come in synchronization with the rider. So my 2 cents on this valid question are, please do take learning from this damage into the next episode, so that this time, if at all damage happens, it is not to the level that it was last time. Does that give you a perspective to think about?
Yes, yes.
Right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Shamla. Thank you
Yeah.
for that
Dr.
very.
Anju,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, Ramanji.
if I may just add,
Yes, why not?
one is to continuously keep reminding yourself that I know this is my weakness of snapping. I will not. There is a
Mhm.
possibility that we reduce.
Okay.
And the other experience that I've had is, the younger you are, the snapping is quicker. As you grow older, your sense of withholding is much better.
Okay.
So the question is, how much do you attune yourself?
Hmm.
Despite all that I say, promise myself, I also am a victim and I succumb at times, but I consciously say, why did I do it, and try to rectify. You're absolutely right. We need to practice this very
Hmm.
hard, very sincerely and committedly.
Right. And Ramanji, thank you so much for bringing in that interesting experience. Here, I will add on to my favorite line for those of you who have been gracious enough to hear me a few times before also. They must have heard this line multiple times from me. That is, your intention matters a lot. Your intention supported by your willingness matters a lot. If there is no intention, or the intention is without the willingness, you are only playing your victim card to no end. This rabbit hole will continue to dig deep and deep and deep. On that note, moving ahead on the realization that in order to bring my elephant and intellect in harmony, I must know, I must acknowledge and accept my emotion, so that I also get to know when is the time to take that pause. And I'm mindful of the time. It is 5:06. I'll take another 10 minutes to explain you this particular rule. But before that, and this particular rule can help you if you practice it, of course. It can help you to bring your brain and your emotions, that is your rational, your logic, and your emotions in harmony, so that your thoughts, feelings, and actions are acting in such a manner, are happening in such a manner that the result is in your favor. But before this, I would like to read out an excerpt from the book called Switch by Chip and Dan Heath. The excerpt is, if you want to change things, because the whole theme is around change of the session. So if you want to change things, you have got to appeal to both, that is the rider and the elephant. The rider provides the planning and direction, and the elephant provides the energy. So if you reach the rider of your team or yourself, but not the elephant, you or the team member will always have an understanding without motivation. So yes, the team members or you will understand that what is the need of it, because there is a rationale that is given to you, but your elephants, that is your emotional side, isn't touched base with. Henceforth, you will not be motivated, which means in absence of a control from outside, you will rather slip back into your comfort zone. So that is the first thing. And second is, if you reach the elephants of your team members or yourself, but not the riders, you will have passion. Team members will have passion, but without direction. So it is again a risky proposition. Wo to bhai, it might happen. Okay, can you jump from the 27th floor? Oh yes, if the boss has said so, the boss trusts us, we trust the boss, and drop. No, you might lose all your team members. You might not be in a good shape post that. So in both the cases, the flaws can be paralyzing. A reluctant elephant and a wheel spinning rider can both ensure that nothing changes. So if the elephant is reluctant, or if the rider is overthinking, because the rider is what? Intellect. What does intellect do? It makes you think. If you enter that overthinking cycle, or if your elephant is not touched base with properly, then in both these cases, be rest assured that nothing will change. Your change process will be futile, it will fall flat. But when elephant and riders move together, change can come easily. And here an example before I come to Roper. All right. How many of you have ever had fear of something? I'll share my own fear. Before my son was born, I was damn petrified of a lizard. A lizard, anywhere a lizard, Anju will not enter. Anju will scream, might yell, might hit somebody also. So Anju will not enter. Reason, my emotional side will always take over, because once upon a time in my childhood, I saw a lizard which was dead and it was turned upside down, all yellowish skin, and that was damn scary for me. I used to carry that image, and lizard was always could give me jitters at any point of time. Emotional front was, although I used to tell myself, come on yaar, kya hai? It is just a reptile, it is such a small thing, it doesn't eat, it doesn't bite, what can it do to you? But again, my emotional front will always take over the intellect. Then my son was born, and the motherly instinct, of course, again, those are elephant, but at the same time there is a rider attached to it, which is intellect. So I became more emotionally intelligent whenever tasks which were related to safety of my son, which were related to healthy eating of my son, security of my son, came up. So one day, while he was 2.5 years of age, he was playing, and there was a lizard waving from here to there on the curtain. If it was the usual me, I perhaps would have taken that elephant again. That elephant would have taken control on me of the fear. But this time, Very quickly, when I spotted the lizard, yes, I had to muster courage, because the rational kept telling me there also that, Are Baba, it is your son. You have to take care of your son. Forget about the fear. What will lizard do? Now the same line, what can lizard do, which was not making any sense to me until I was a mother. um, this worked for me this time, and my rational and my emotion to safeguard my son, and rational that what can lizard do to you, Anju? Yes, with a little fear, but overcoming that fear, because my thought, feeling and actions now were in tandem. I pulled my son from that space. Otherwise, in the next second, that lizard would have fallen on him, which fell down on the ground actually. But now I was no more afraid, because now my rational and my emotional front, they were in tandem. Any thoughts here before I move to the importance of the rule Roper, especially pause state? Anything that you
So,
want to? Yes, please.
Anju, I just wanted to ask that
Shamla, yes.
does it mean for the rational and the emotional to act together, you
Yes.
need to come from a bigger place of, let's say, a purpose, a bigger purpose, or a bigger, let's say, a value? Is that what brings it together?
Well, in this particular case, maybe yes, but can I give a theory around it? Have I ever read a literature around it? Not really. Bigger or smaller doesn't matter. Maybe your reality of that particular phase matters more than anything being big. Certainly, the value system is playing. Value of being a mother, those emotion of safeguarding my son. Just like the Tesla example, when Elon Musk was actually showcasing the vehicle which he promised that can the window panes cannot get broken no matter what, blah blah blah, and a team member threw an object and the window pane shattered. Elon Musk still had that grit and calmness to be there, and said that nothing is without that there is always a scope to improve upon, and we'll be back with this. So again, Shamla, certainly, if I reconsider your question, I would say values do matter. If one particular value is absent, and it is needed in the synchronization, since it is absent, so synchronization will not happen. But if there is a value present in the least amount also, and is brought to your conscious awareness zone, then probably this synchronization becomes easy. Background sound again, please go on mute. Shamla, does that give you some perspective?
Yeah, it does give, but I'm just saying, how do we, proactively work on this? That's
Proactively,
yeah.
yes. So see, proactively for one situation can be a reaction to the previous situation. So proactive again is a very subjective adverb. Proactively for situation B, that is to safeguard my son, was actually a reaction to the previous situation wherein I have already suffered that fear. I brought that learning of the previous situation into this situation, that if I keep being afraid of it, it might fall off, and my son also might be afraid of that lizard throughout the life, and I did not want that to happen. Does that give you a broader in fact, does that give you a little more micro picture than broader picture? Okay. Your voice totally suggests me that you are in your cognition mode now. Yes.
Dr. Anju.
Yes, Ramanji. Thank you, Shamla. Yes, Ramanji.
I'll give you just a much more harder example, but
yes,
please don't
please
misunderstand me for that.
No, not at all.
Okay, we all fear death, all right? It could be me and it could be my partner. But the fact is, we never prepare ourselves to be minus the partner. But it so happens when we actually hit the situation, our instinct and our internal strength makes us face the situation. It could be the compulsion of looking after my children, or it could be the compulsion of looking after the family or whatever. So the point is, we don't prepare, but our body and our mind instinctively prepares us for all this. So that's where the rational and logic comes into play, is my feeling.
Absolutely. Beautiful example. Tough one, but yes, truth. In fact, post pandemic, I'm sure when we all spoke to our different friends, people around us, most of us mentally have gone through one line during this pandemic: be prepared for anything without the spouse or your family without you. So yes, Raman, I would say that that's a beautiful, but I mean hard but a beautiful example to explain it, right? Utilizing the time, explaining the rule proper. I'm sure few of my friends who have who have been tortured by me earlier also already know this. But then Roper is one thing I really love to explain to everyone. This is a rule that I adopted from Ruler by Mark Brackett, founder director of Center for Excellence, EI, Yale University. um, that particular rule gave me enough courage to tweak the rule and make it as proper, because emotional vocabulary of people here in India is not as vast as the emotional vocabulary in the Western countries. Here we only ask how are you, and we end up saying good, fantastic, great. But there they also go to the level of asking how are you feeling. And when you ask somebody how are you feeling, the emotional vocabulary comes into picture. However, emotional vocabulary is a different ball game. Coming to the rule Roper, which you can utilize, which you can use in order to bring your brain, that is your intellect, and your emotional, that is your elephant, into harmony, is whenever there is a situation, if now if now you already have bear the burnt of the previous situation, as Shamla asked that how can I act proactively. So in case after this session you can start acting proactively, nothing like it. But if at all the burnt has already been done from the previous situation, start to recognize any unpleasant emotion that enters your body or mind. Whenever you recognize that there is something unpleasant that you are feeling, that you're experiencing in your body, uh, or maybe some kind of thoughts coming to your mind wherein you are not really at peace with it, probe a little. What is it? Why is it coming? Recognize at least. Once you have recognized that there is something unpleasant, acknowledge and do accept whatever it is: sadness, irritability, discomfort, or maybe a feeling of being ditched, distrust, rejected, whatever is that unpleasant emotion. Once you have recognized that there is some unpleasantness, do acknowledge and accept whatever is that unpleasant emotion. Once you have acknowledged and accepted that yes, Anju is feeling disrespected, Anju is feeling backstabbed, now understand why is she feeling so, what made her feel so, sorry. And after she has reached to the trigger of this feeling, after she has understood whatever has happened, what is she feeling, now is the time for her to take a pause, step back from that situation. So I might have felt disrespectful by my son or by my subordinate. All right, I was feeling unpleasant, I recognized it. Did I acknowledge and accept that I was feeling disrespectful? I felt disrespected, yes I did. Did I understand that what made me feel disrespected? Yes, I did understand. My subordinate not answering to my call, even after 5 phone calls, not responding to my mail on a very important deadline. Rather, rather the subordinate responded to my head directly. Yes, this is what made me feel disrespected. Time for me to take a pause, move out of the situation, and check what is it that made him do so, and what is it that now I can do about the situation. So I will have various various ways out for myself. I can bash the person, I can talk out to the person openly, I can let it go, I can take a learning quietly and then repeat it for him as a tit for tat. I can maybe report it to the boss and many other things. So let me just evaluate all possible actions that I can take now and finally make my own pick to respond. $1 million question is, whatever response now I will choose, will that be 100% safe response to reach my goal? Well, there is nothing called 100% safe, but yes, brighter chances are you would have brought your rational and your emotional, that is your elephant and your intellect, in synchronization, and you are more convinced about what you are doing now, however you are behaving now or acting now, because now you are not reacting to the situation. You have thought of all possible ways and means that you could have dealt with, that you could have used to deal with the situation. So here, being respectful and mindful of time at 5:23, with the concluding remark, my Anju or Raman or Ajay or anyone has got two types of bosses. We live in a matrix kind of a situation. So I have an elephant, I have an intellect. When can I actually make my decisions move in the direction of the goal that I have planned to? Mostly when my brain, that is my intellect, and my emotion, that is my elephant, are in synchronization. With this, I take a pause. My message is communicated. Questions, please feel free. Sorry. Feel free if you have anything to ask, you want to add something, feel free, because this field is an ever evolving field. EI can be looked upon from various angles. Change was one angle that we tried to bring in today. Anything, anyone? Okay. No questions? All right, Asia and Vaibhavi, then over to you.
Yeah. So thank you, ma'am, for this amazing session. I think everybody understood what the real essence of EI is, and the Roper model was really enlightening. And thank you everybody else for joining us and making this session a success. I hope you all liked it. And thank you IIBP for giving us this opportunity, a platform where we can share knowledge in the area of things we believe in, and we promote the knowledge in that area. Just to say a few concluding lines, that after this session, we'll be sending out to you emails in which there will be a feedback form. There will be a few questions regarding this session as well as future sessions. So it would be helpful if you could fill that form so we know what webinars or stuff that y'all are expecting from our end. That's it. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you, ma'am.
One word for Dr. Anju. One word for Dr. Anju.
Yeah.
Yes, Ramanji, all ears.
No, seriously, Dr. Anju, I've heard you not once, twice, I've heard you more than once. Every time I hear you, I get something new, and I really feel saying, okay, I have got another chink in my armor. You're absolutely beautiful. Fine. Thanks a lot. And I love being on your sessions. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ramanji. Thank you so much. It's such an honor. All right, then. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ma'am,
Bye.
Dr.
Yes.
Anju.
Bye,
Yes,
Dr.
Satnam.
Anju.
Ma'am, I've
Bye-bye.
just sent you a message in the chat. If you can please read it.
Sure, why not? Why not?
Okay, thank you.
And the message is Ajay ji.